Think twice before moving straight to Colorado Springs, because today we're going to give you 10 reasons why you should not move to Colorado Springs. Sam and I are going to give you 10 reasons why not to move to Colorado Springs. And this is guys that have lived in Colorado Springs for a combined almost 40 years at this point, probably.
Yeah.
So let me also say, if there's something you have questions about, as we say what these 10 things are, make sure you take the time, reach out, call, text, email, hit us up. We're your local guides. Whatever we can do to help out, that's what we want to do.
That's right.
Number one, the
dry weather, man.
The dry weather.
Yeah.
This is kind of an odd time to talk about that, though, honestly.
It really is.
We had the rainiest June ever on record in Colorado.
Yeah.
And I think July is on pace. I mean, we kind of just started.
Denver this year had more rain than Seattle has so far.
I got to say, I was actually, you know this, I spent about 3 weeks in the Pacific Northwest in May and June. Rained one day. Rained every single day I was going to Colorado Springs.
Literally for 3 weeks straight.
But in general,
it's
dry. Colorado Springs, it's a high desert, arid environment, so it is a very dry environment normally.
It is.
You know, we get a lot of rainfall, typically that April, beginning of May time frame, a little bit through the rest of May, and then it dries up, honestly. And you know, you kind of, that greenery starts to go away, starts to turn to brown.
People like me, let's be honest, your boy gets ashy.
The ashy elbows,
He gets ashy, man.
The ashy elbows, that's true. It is dry in Colorado Springs. I personally enjoy that because it goes back to that 300 days of sunshine, right? But it is dry. A lot of people don't like it.
Yep, absolutely.
It's another one.
Number 2, rapid growth. There's been rapid growth here. It's been, I don't know, from the time I've moved here, we've gone from a little over 400,000 people in the metro area to a little over 800,000 people in the metro area now, I think.
And I mean, it makes sense, right? The last 5 years, it's kind of when there was just a big transition of people wanting to move out of, you know, kind of like Midwest states. We have a lot of folks that move from California, Texas, all the places we always talk about. But so that kind of lines right up with that. So as there was more demand, more people were moving here, man, growth took off. And it's on the residential housing side with apartments and single family homes and new communities, and it's also commercial too. So there's a lot of places in Colorado Springs, like kind of these big commercial hubs that have started to pop up and are expanding a lot. And then there's also the revitalization of the downtown area too.
It's insane to see all the revitalization at the same time, like to see us expanding east so far. When I first moved here, like Banning Lewis Ranch was like 10 homes off of Mark Shuffle, and it was still a working cattle ranch. And today it's thousands and thousands of homes, probably one of the biggest developments.
I think one of the biggest developments in town,
So it's been nuts, and with rapid growth, like comes rapid change. Rapid issues like arise with, you know, traffic patterns and, you know, just a lot of people moving into an area that wasn't designed for that many people. So the rapid growth can be an issue here.
It is, and it's, you know, I mean, we always like to state the facts on stuff too and give the whole truth. And it's true, like, you know, crime has increased here in Colorado Springs, but it's just all those growing pains that a city goes through. And I think for the size that Colorado Springs is now, it's, you know, it's no different from those negative standpoints as it is compared to a lot of other metro areas. But if you're looking for the small town feel, you know, little quaint town, that's not Colorado Springs anymore.
No, it's really not. I used to say it's a small, big city.
If
you knew 100 people, you knew everyone in the city. But
it seemed like it,
it's not that way.
Right. Now, are there areas within or around Colorado Springs where you can still get that? I think you can.
Oh, for sure,
You know, Woodland Park right up the pass. It's a very small little mountain town in the foothills. You know, you get out the Black Forest, it's kind of its own little community. The Northern El Paso County Area Monument, that's, you know, kind of its own little area. So you can definitely get that feel, but we always just like to kind of tell people, hey, Colorado Springs, she is a growing, man. So
absolutely.
What's another thing, reason not to move to Colorado Springs?
Although we've experienced rapid growth, number 3, it's still not a big city.
I think that's true, man.
You know.
So now when we say not a big city, why is that a negative in your mind?
So I mean, we have all the amenities that you really need in life, but not everything that Denver has, not everything that other big cities have, and honestly, not even everything that other B cities the same size as us have.
We kind of use that A-B analogy, you know, Denver being the A city and Colorado Springs kind of being the B city. So I think that it depends on what you're looking for, right? But that's a good point. If you're looking for the hey, I'm going to a different show every night. I'm going to go see a major league level sporting event every night.
I've got an international airport a 20-minute drive away.
Right, yeah.
Like, whatever the case may be.
Like you said, it's a good point. Like, while we've grown a lot, we're not to that level. And I don't think Colorado Springs, I mean, who knows, maybe 30 years down the road it gets to that. But because Denver's right up the road, I don't see Colorado Springs getting to that level. No. I don't think the Front Range can support 2 cities the size of Denver, if that makes sense.
No, probably not. I mean, I see both the cities growing a lot closer together in terms of geographic distance. And the Springs expanding way further east than Denver's really capable of.
That's true too,
but us ever being that size and like ever having all the major amenities that they have, I don't know if that's the case either.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, it's pros and cons to everything, but we know for a lot of people, Denver's a better fit. If that's what you're looking for, just kind of, do the research and realize what Colorado Springs versus Denver is. I think we've actually done a video about Colorado Springs versus Denver. So kind of see some of that kind of compare and contrast of what the 2 cities are like. All right, so this isn't about another one, back to the weather thing. We have real winters in Colorado.
We do.
Now, is it like northern Wyoming, Montana? It's not, but it's not like Texas or Florida or any of the Sunbelt area.
No.
We do get some snow. I mean, I won't lie about that. Some people will say, and it's true that it melts off fast, but it still comes. We still have snow and we still have cold weather.
Oh yeah, this year is probably, or was probably, the coldest winter that I remember from like January to March, April.
I don't know if that's true, like statistically, but it did feel like it. It felt
there were 3 weeks where we were like below 10 degrees.
And it felt like it lasted a long time. Like this year, like usually, so it's for Colorado Springs, it's usually kind of that, it starts to cool off in November, but it's not bad. December, it's getting, down to like the 30s and 40s. But January, February, March are kind of the worst months, I think. And it'll be pretty dry in November, December, and then it'll start to pick up here in town, at least January, February, March. But man, it just seemed like it went on in until like it felt like it didn't warm up until June this year.
This year, for sure, we got more snow than I've seen in probably a decade. Colder weather than I've probably seen in a decade. And it was nice to like have kind of a more real authentic winter, but
it gets old after a while. And it gets old after shoveling that snow so many times.
It's freaking windy in the winter, man.
It does get windy in the wintertime. I think it's the mountains, right? It's one of the beautiful, beautiful things about Colorado, but it also drives a little bit of that winter weather and the wind. And I always do like to remind people, if you're moving here from out of state, if you're thinking about visiting, when you think of Colorado, most people are thinking like mountains. They're thinking of Aspen. That's what people are picturing, right? We don't get that much snow. It's not like you're living at 14,000 feet. Colorado Springs, 6,000 to 7,000 feet, depends on where you're at. Yes, we do get snow, but it's not like you're living in the mountains every day. So just don't think that that's going to be the case when you move here.
No, absolutely not. Man, what are we on now? Number 5?
I've lost count. I think number 5.
I think we're on number 5.
I know what I'm thinking of. Housing costs.
It's a controversial one, man.
This one kind of ties back in with the rapid growth thing. It's supply and demand, right? And we won't talk about what the housing market's doing nationally and what's going to happen. All I can tell you is that over the last 5 years, the cost of housing in Colorado Springs has exponentially increased.
What, 40%? And really like a 3-year period.
So like 3 years increased 40%. And I know that's a national trend too. We've seen a lot of that across the country, but we've definitely seen it here along the Colorado Front Range and Colorado Springs specifically. So it's a negative. It is, man. Like if we're saying 10 reasons not to move here,
it is.
That's got to be one of them, man. If you want a nice pad in Omaha, Nebraska, it's going to cost a lot less than it is here.
It sure is. I mean, $500,000 used to get you something here.
Something nice,
Something wild.
Not that you can get something nice now, but that's the average price.
That's the average price now, It used to be $500,000. 10 years ago bought you what $1 million home is today.
Seems like it,
And that's like your average like subdivision home, like, is some of those are creeping up into
almost pushing that
800-900 million mark. And it can be real tough. It's expensive. I don't know what else to say about that one. And listen, we get it all the time in the comments and from other people. Oh, you should try California. You should move to California or try Texas, Dallas, whatever. It's expensive is expensive, and it's expensive here.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we know it's definitely expensive other places. It's less expensive some places, but it's just a big change that we've seen that, again, after living here for so long, didn't really know if we'd ever see that. So
no,
it's
and I don't know if we'll see it go away.
I did read that Colorado actually lost more people last year than it gained for the first time in several years. I think a lot of that has to do with kind of, people are super excited. Maybe they didn't do enough research. They were super excited to get here. They moved here. And then after a year or two, they've decided to move away from Colorado. Maybe they just didn't like it. Housing was too expensive, whatever it might be. But that leads me into another one I'm thinking of.
I was going to say, those people didn't watch our other reasons not to move to Colorado Springs videos. Didn't watch our channel. You got to stay tuned to the end. You're going to get all the info.
All the 10 reasons.
Yeah.
All right, I got one for number 6, ties back into the last one we talked about. If you're not that into the outdoors, maybe you want to rethink the move.
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of people, they get excited about the sound of moving to Colorado. It sounds good in theory, but they really don't like to do stuff outside. They kind of just want to go, hang out inside, whatever that is. And that's perfectly fine. But just so much of Colorado and the stuff to do is based on the outdoors.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Like, that's part of the reason that we don't have, maybe all the amenities that other places and other cities do have in terms of indoor, things to do.
Yeah.
It's because the outdoors is what there is to do here.
That's a good point, man. Yeah, that's true. We don't have the huge shopping malls and a huge water park right in town. I mean, that's if you like to, and we're not saying you got to be sponsored by Patagonia or North Face or something to live in Colorado.
No. But
if you don't like to do anything, but if you like to, hey, I'm going to go hike around a little bit. I'm going to go run on the trail. I'm going to go ride my bike outside. I'm going to go do some bird watching or something, Anything outside in nature, if you have any interest in that, I think that's a big draw for Colorado.
Oh,
If you just want to have nothing to do with any of that stuff, there's probably a less expensive, like I said, to go back to the housing thing, there's probably a place that's less expensive to live that would give you the other stuff that Colorado gives you if the outdoor natural beauty piece of it isn't a huge factor.
Yeah. Yep. Totally agree. Number 7. It's number 7.
Ooh, this is, okay, I got one. So this is, I don't know how to say this. I guess there's not as much culture in Colorado Springs. So we don't have a lot of Broadway plays come through Colorado Springs. We don't have a lot of big art shows necessarily. There's just not that, it's not as, I'm not going to compare it to like Santa Fe or anything, because most cities are not like Santa Fe when it comes to that.
Yeah. But it's not Atlanta where there's a crazy music scene and a crazy art scene and a crazy fashion scene.
We're just known for that. Yeah, so you mentioned fashion. My wife and I actually joke about this. I'm a pretty jeans and t-shirt kind of guy now that I lived in Colorado for 20 years. My wife lived in Chicago for a number of years before moving to Colorado, and she still kind of pokes fun at the fashion in Colorado, because really a puffy coat is that's like a suit jacket in Colorado, right?
Yeah.
That's what everybody wears. So there really is no fashion in Colorado, if I'm being honest.
No, if you haven't checked out Francis's video at Red Rocks, homeboy's wearing tritone pants.
I think they might be quad zipped. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
They got some zippers on those
so
things.
So many zipper layers on those things, man. It's insane. And that's totally
Colorado,
normal
man.
Dress wear here.
It is, yeah. So there's, now, like we talked about earlier though, the A and B city, anything you want to do, if you want that bigger music scene, you want to go see those Broadway shows, I know actually Wicked is coming to Denver next fall. I'm kind of looking forward to that. So all that stuff's right up the street in Denver. But if you want it in your town, Colorado Springs ain't it, man.
Nope, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Number 8.
Urban sprawl.
Urban sprawl.
This is one, that term's been around for a long time. I didn't even really used to know what the heck it was, but I've seen it now in person.
It's the truth, man. It's
East Colorado Springs, man. Powers Boulevard, east of that. Yep. Urban sprawl, just basically where it's just a sea of houses just got puked on the prairie. That's how I think of it, man.
When I first moved here and we rolled in, this is how long ago it was, the edge of town was Powers and Woodman.
Yeah.
And we roll in, and I was like, holy cow, it's like rolling hills of houses.
Of housetops, right? Yeah.
Just forever. And it's for good reason, from the standpoint that unlike other cities, people don't want to build up here because they don't want to ruin views.
And there's a lot of land to expand to the east on.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say about that, so you definitely have parts of Colorado Springs that have a very urban sprawl feel. I don't even like that myself. I don't really know if anybody likes that feel. What I will say though is that El Paso County, where we're at, in Colorado Springs, the planning entities have done a lot better job with new communities. Where it's a lot of housing, but there's a lot of parks built into it. There's big parks, little individual parks on individual blocks, splash pads for the kids, rec centers, just a lot of other stuff, commercial better integrated into the development.
Yeah.
So it's getting better, but I will say, east side of Colorado Springs, man, it's got a lot of urban sprawl, and a lot of people don't like it, and I'm one of them too, so.
It's truth.
Yeah.
Truth. Number 9, I'm gonna say it. I say it all the time. I get it. It's not LA.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
It's not New York, whatever. I get it. But the traffic is so annoying here. And part of the reason it's so annoying, and it ties into other reasons, the urban sprawl, the rapid growth, like all these things. The traffic is frustrating here because we are constantly under construction.
Like you said, it ties back into a lot of that other stuff, but it's true, yeah. And again, we know, because we get these comments, we look at the comments, we know it's not Atlanta, it's not Chicago, it's not LA, it's not anywhere in the DC metro area, but for us, Coloradoans, it's bad traffic, man. I leave my office downtown, try to drive up north every single day.
Northbound 25, dude.
I get Bijou exit on the I-25 north, I just stop.
Yep.
And I just sit there.
From Fillmore to Garden of the Gods at a minimum.
It's just
not even, is it from Uinta to Garden of the Gods?
Yeah.
It's just a line.
Barely moves. Thank goodness for podcasts, man.
That's right.
So, and to the construction part, man. Yeah, right, yeah.
What? I don't do that.
The construction part, though, man, that's another thing that just, I don't know. I'm not a street planner person. I don't really know.
No.
But it does seem like every time there's any kind of construction, like a whole street's closed down, or even worse, it's like a 6-lane road is closed down to 1 lane.
Yeah.
We're just venting now, I feel. But
we are.
If you're from a small town, you're not gonna like the traffic here. If you're from a big city, it probably won't be a big deal.
No.
All right, we got to give the people one more reason not to move to Colorado Springs.
One more reason. And as somebody who moved from the South, and I also lived in California at one point too, and I get it, California has their issues with this, but there is not a lot of water here.
No, there's not.
Like point blank, period, there's just not a lot of water.
No.
I don't even know how to describe how much water there is not here.
I don't know how to tell you how much there's not.
Yeah.
So if you're from the Midwest or any place other than here, what we call a lake, you would probably call a pond or a puddle.
Yeah.
We don't really have, I don't know if this is true. I heard there's no natural lakes in Colorado. They're all reservoirs, except for like high alpine lakes. I don't know if that's true. I heard that somewhere. But we have a lot bereservoirs.
I can maybe see that being true, man.
Right, it's all reservoirs.
You think about Granby Lake,
reservoir.
Blue Mesa, reservoir. Pueblo, reservoir.
A lot of reservoirs.
Yep.
So if you're in the Colorado Springs area, Pueblo Reservoir is going to be your closest big body of water. So if you have a boat, or if you're thinking about getting a boat, that's usually where you're going to go do your boating at, is Pueblo Reservoir.
Or just if you want to recreate in the water, period, you want to go swimming or spend a day at the beach, like...
I've never been to the beach at Pueblo Reservoir, so I can't speak to that.
You have a tiny little, like, 200-yard, like, patch of rocky, shoaly sand.
Sweet.
To hang out on. Like,
okay, so there's
just not a lot of water here.
There's not, yeah.
It also, again, plays into like city growth and stuff, because it is a constant challenge for the city to continue to expand, continue to have more people move here, but have to figure out those resources.
Make sure that we have enough water for all the population moving here. Yeah, so that's a good point. It's not, I was thinking like bodies of water, you know, lakes and stuff, but then it's groundwater, drinking water. Like Colorado Springs utilities, they pipe their water that they provide for the city. It's captured in reservoirs up on Pikes Peak, and they pump it all the way from the Twin Lakes, which is north of Buena Vista, south of Leadville. Yeah. Like up in the mountains.
Like 3 hours drive away.
Yeah, it's like a 3-hour drive, and they've got huge pipes under the ground that pipe that water here from snow melt. So it's just one of those things that is becoming a bigger factor as the city grows. But man, if you're the person who's like, hey, I'm gonna go jet ski every weekend and all this other stuff, I don't know, man. I don't think it's the right fit.
No.
Yeah.
No, definitely not, unfortunately.
Not a lot of water. All right, that was 10 reasons. You guys probably know there's more than 10, but those were the 10 that Sam and I were thinking about today. So you guys know we always want to just give you all the information so you can make the best decision possible. Like I said earlier, if you have any questions on any of that stuff we talked about, or maybe you're thinking, hey, what about this thing? Reach out, call, text, email, hit us up in the comments, whatever we can do to help out. We just want to make sure you guys have all the info if you're thinking about a move to Colorado Springs.